His guest built a technology company from 0 to 116 crore rupees in order bookings in 6 years. Please welcome Mr. Hariharan Nagarajan. What does it actually take to build something that has never existed before? And what stops most engineering organizations from doing it?
I never feel that I am from a manufacturing machine tool industry. I don't feel like I am always from an automation industry.
So, what happened along the way that made you cross that line from fixing technology to inventing it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi. Today's episode is for anyone who has ever wondered what India's manufacturing future actually looks like, not in a government report, but on the shop floor, in the lab, and inside the minds of the people building it right now. Today's guest built a technology company from 0 to 116 crore rupees in order bookings in 6 years through COVID, through a market that did not yet know it needed what he was building. He has developed India's first 3D hybrid metal manufacturing machine, built AI integrated crash avoidance systems for machine tools, won CII and FICCI awards for Industry 4.0 innovation, and worked with Maruti, Tata, Ford, Honda, Fiat, and many more on automation projects worth hundreds of crores. He is Director Technical at M2 Next Solutions, a subsidiary of Bharat Fritz Werner. So please welcome Mr. Hariharan Nagarajan. Mr. Hari, so great to have you here.
Hello, thank you for the great introduction, Mr. Sunny. Nice to have you.
So looking forward to a great conversation ahead, sir.
Yes, sure, of course.
All right, so let's dive right in. Let me start by asking, you started your career maintaining CNC machines at a government tool room in Bangalore in 1994.
Yeah.
And 30 years later, you have built India's first 3D hybrid metal manufacturing machine and grown a company to 116 crore rupees. Now, most people who maintain machines never end up building entirely new ones. So, what happened along the way that made you cross that line from fixing technology to inventing it?
Okay. So, the point of innovation is always from the early ages of any person who is going to be innovative or looks to or try to build something new or see something new which is not being seen by others. So that is the journey what we have started from 1994. We have doing a lot of things on machine tools from maintenance perspective, but for solving the problem at the core. So it requires to be in the place where we manufacture the machine tool. So always there was a vision to go to some or form of way where from maintenance to manufacturing or to design or innovation field where we will be able to try to impose our ideas not as an corrective action as a process of implementation in the core architecture of the technology itself. So this journey has took me a long time of say 15 to 18 years to reach from machine tool maintenance to machine tool manufacturing and machine tool design. So this is how it has happened. So this is the thought process behind that and the energy which has made me to flow from this direction to this direction.
Great. So, what a great start to this conversation from maintaining CNC machines in a government tool room to launching India's first 3D hybrid metal manufacturing machine. That is such a powerful arc, Mr. Hariharan. And what strikes me is that you never left the machines behind. You just kept asking a deeper and deeper question about what it could become. Great. So let's dive a little deeper. Tell me, you grew M2 Next from 0 to 116 crore rupees in order bookings, a technology company in Indian manufacturing through COVID. Now, most people who build technology companies in India chase software or consumer apps. You went deep into hardware, automation, and industrial technology. So, what made you believe there was a real market for what you were building, and what did you discover about Indian manufacturing that most people sitting outside it completely misses?
There are 2 points which I would like to take, which upon this we have built this whole thing. So one is replaceability. So how fast you can be replaced in the market. So we will have to see how you can make it more positive to our organization and tougher for competitions to come in. So this is one part of thinking, because everybody put their 100% effort or more than that to sustain in market. So we thought that getting a technology, integrating it will not make us unique always. So we want to build something from scratch, from cutting circles against our core domains. So where which will make it very difficult for other organizations or other industries to compete and make it replaceability one on one at a very faster rate. So this is vertical number one. So the other point which we see look into is the employability issue. So if you see India and global, so global you have resources or they have money power to automate the entire thing. But whereas in India, we have to do this trade-off. So we will have to use our manpower and also we will have to automate to make it faster to reduce the fatigue of manpower. So these putting in the place, so we will have to de-skill the process of manufacturing by enabling machine with a lot of technology inside and also putting automations around it to make the employability easier, so that we can go 2 steps down to employ an employee to get my whole complicated system running. So these are the two things which will make M2 Next a more acceptable organization in India and also global. So for us to see that we bring value of bringing a proper workforce and also balance the technology which is very unique and it is not easily available at an affordable price what we are supplying to the market, the global market.
Absolutely, Mr. Hari. The technology gap in Indian manufacturing is not about ambition, it is about access and building solutions that fit the Indian cost reality rather than the European price list is genuinely where the opportunity is. And that is a boardroom conversation that every Indian manufacturer needs to be having.
Right.
Great. So, Mr. Hari, you developed India's first 3D hybrid metal DED machine, launched by the Minister of Electronics and IT, and won a FIRCI National Award for an AI-based crash avoidance system. Now, these are not incremental improvements. These are genuinely new technologies that did not exist in India before you built them.
Yes.
What does it actually take to build something that has never existed before? And what stops most engineering organizations from doing it?
Okay, the problem within and the problem from outside. So it is the way of sight what you have. I never feel that I am from a manufacturing machine tool industry. I don't feel like I am always from an automation industry. I will always be to be outside of any of the thing to see, have a different view of seeing into things. So when it comes to additive manufacturing, there are 2 3 bottlenecks which normally people, because since 10 years when we are seeing this buzz of additive manufacturing, we very clearly choose that not to go in polymer, we go into metal additive. So this is the biggest one because that is the unmatured market. So we took the tough path to move on. That is from the additive side of metal. This is one. Second point, whenever we say printing, it is only for prototyping and demo, and it is never for full scale production. So this is the second problem. So which is slowly getting addressed from the polymer side, but it is not at the metal side. This is the second problem stage. The third one is very unique. So when you say you print it as print, you cannot use it for most of the things. It requires some shiny place, it requires some finished area, it requires a fitment area where it has to be properly fitted to the mating part. So accuracy makes. So whereas in printing you can't get an accuracy less than say for WAM type of or a DD type of printing, we cannot get less than 5 millimeters. So that becomes a challenge. So we cannot scale. But the positive what we have towards going for scale of manufacturing is two things. So one is we are machine manufacturers. Second is our metal deposition rates. We can go from 350 grams to 30 kgs per hour. So this makes it more massive. But the bottleneck here is fitment and the finish. So we want to solve this problem from the parent company where I work for, applied research. So we applied the machining engine towards our printing engine. We brought these things together. So it's a outsider's view. I'm not a machine tool. I'm not an automation guy, not an additive guy. Looking into a perspective that how we can put things together, make it more complex for us as a machine tool builder or an additive machine builder, but easy for the ecosystem to use it and scale it. And we also have different platforms in our pipeline where we can do assistive hybrid, which is called assistive hybrid. Is we will have a balanced technology of what is being printed, how much it is being machined. So we will try to balance. It's not like having a machine which will 50% do printing or 50% do machining. We will do assistive additive, which will take distributive decision on its own by a mathematical models, which will take assess the model. It will take how much has to be printed and how much has to be machined. Based on that, multiple heads and multiple milling heads and printing heads can be deployed. So this is quite complex, and it is like having a warehouse of batteries of printing machines instead of having a factory of printer. Okay, so this makes it very easy, and towards custom manufacturing at a scale will be enabled with this thought process.
Rightly said, Mr. Hari. And the fact that you have navigated such challenges inside a large manufacturing organization while still delivering these breakthroughs tell us something very important about what is possible when someone genuinely believes in what they are building.
Right.
So, Mr. Hari, Industry 4.0, IIoT, AI in manufacturing, autonomous robots, additive manufacturing, these are not future technologies anymore. They are happening now in Indian shop floors. But there is still a massive gap between the organizations that are genuinely adopting these technologies and those that are just talking about them.
Right.
Now, from where you sit building these systems and selling them to Indian manufacturers, tell me what separates the companies that are genuinely transforming from those that are stuck.
Okay, so what we are trying to offer is we are not trying to offer any one of what we have discussed. We are offering whole as a package. So it is a single contact, and you will be able to get the whole solution of your machining, your automation, your IoT, your mathematically managed shop floor, and your transportation between shop floors to shop floor, or from machines to machine, or from automation to automation by autonomization, which will keep the shop floor clean, neat, and less congested. And it can be reused. It is not a capex anymore. It is going to be a reusable capex, so that it can be transformed when the business also getting transformed. So as an organization, we built this as a basic platform of having all these five verticals in one place. So always customers finds it very easy for us to get gelled with us, because we give the entire solution and the responsibility lies with us for every commitment what we give as an output. Whereas if you take for a great autonomous vehicle companies, great IoT companies, and great automation companies, they will have a difficulty to stitch between these, because they can never, or anyone can own the project, but never everybody can own the project the way we own it. So that is the reason we are growing at a CAGR of 45 to 50%, and this year it is going to be 100%. So that is the reason behind this.
Wow. Those are incredible numbers, Mr. Hari. Great. So let's move on to the next segment, which we call as quick fire round.
Okay.
You have built robots, CNC controllers, 3D printers, and AI systems, but these questions require zero engineering knowledge. So are you ready for it?
Yeah, sure. Let's try.
Okay, so here I shoot you with the first question then. A manufacturing company with world-class machines but average engineers, or average machines with world-class engineers, which wins?
Average engineers with world-class machines should be the future.
All right. Next one, India's manufacturing sector in 2030, genuinely competitive globally or still catching up?
Still catching up.
Okay, that was honest. The best technology ideas you have ever had came in the lab or somewhere completely unexpected?
Whenever I am doing my bathing.
Okay. All right. Okay, next one. AI in manufacturing overhyped right now or still massively underestimated?
It is there at bits and pieces, but not at a enterprises level still. Because not about the technology, it is because about the risk.
Rightly said. Rightly said. It's about the risk, right? Okay. Uh, Last one of this segment. One word that 30 years of building machines teaches you about innovation.
Don't get satisfied.
Wow. Wow. That was something that was brilliant. And truly, honestly, I really loved every answer of yours. That was fast. And thank you for playing along.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunny. Have a
Okay.
nice day
So,
ahead.
no. We won't leave you that easily. I will move on to the next segment of questions.
Okay.
And here I ask a tougher question. It is about the challenges that the industry faces. So let me put a scenario in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hari, because in industrial automation and manufacturing technology, governance failures, I repeat, governance failures have consequences that go beyond financial loss into physical safety. Now, imagine a mid-sized Indian manufacturer deploys an AI-driven automation system on a production line.
Okay.
The technology works in testing, but 6 months after deployment, a software update creates an unpredicted interaction with the legacy system.
Mm-hmm.
A safety incident occurs. The board had approved the investment but was never briefed on the integration risks. So, what should have happened? And what does that tell us about where technology governance in Indian manufacturing most dangerously breaks down?
Okay, this is a quite complicated question because most of the things what you have put, the three pieces is still not in place. So one is AI governance, that is at a fintech level itself, it is now getting ready. So when you say AI at a shop floor level and getting compliance certified by a safety officer to get a compliance certification is not there still. So, board at a scale where there is going to be a big risk of compliance and it may bring down the stake is not a good decision of taking this to the shop floor. Before in half, we have a proper governance, proper mitigation mechanisms, proper what do you say, safety practices in place. So we people, even with great knowledges, cannot know how to react for this situation. So we can't leave this here, but we have to move on. What I will recommend is we normally have to make small pockets in the OT networks with a highly monitored and controlled environment to put this system work for 6 months, validate it with that history of validation with all the complication, derive a norm that against this has been implemented and tested, and slowly we can pocket open to multiple parallel integrations and deployments. So this will have a method to explain the risk team to stating that we have not gone directly for profit, because never we should go more towards profit, always towards sustainability and sustained growth. So the benchmarking and curtailing and sustaining then scaling will be the better approach, so that boards should not take this decision without consulting with different type of opinions, only looking into the greater technology and its outputs of profits.
To sum it up, safety governance built into the technology architecture from day one, not bolted on afterwards. That is the difference between the 30% accident rate reduction you delivered and the scenario we just described, where the board approved an investment without owning the risk. That is a governance lesson that goes well beyond manufacturing. All right. So before we wrap up, Mr. Hari, one last question
Mhm.
to be asked.
Okay.
You are a valued member of Directors Institute World Council of Directors. From your personal experience, what has being part of the Directors Institute meant to you? And how has that governance and boardroom perspective shaped the way you think about technology leadership and innovation?
Okay. Honestly speaking, always we try to solve problem, but we will not try to see what all crunches it is going to put it in the level of board when they say no, why they are saying no and how they are saying no, and what is the time they will be keeping that no on. So I think I'm slowly trying to learn to adopt, convince, and also to re-ideologize whatever I'm thinking to propose from the technology and the growth perspective of the organization, so that the board and all the compliance team will be in line to accept it. So it is going to ease my journey of putting my things on board to make it not a discussion, a point of discussion, but at least a point of approval at a stage. So that is the what do you say, graduation of my mindset which is happening after taking up this particular course.
Great to hear that. And what you bring to any board conversation is genuinely rare, Mr. Hari. Someone who has built the technology, deployed it at scale, governed the safety risk, and now understands the boardroom accountability that surrounds all of it. That is exactly the kind of technology leadership voice that Indian manufacturing boards need more of. So, on that note, let me tell you, Mr. Hari, this has been a genuinely exciting and important conversation. Thank you so much for your energy, your brilliance, and for 30 years of building things that make Indian manufacturing stronger, safer, and smarter.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and it was a nice having discussion with you, Mr. Sani. Thank you so much.
And to our listeners, whether you are a manufacturing leader, a technology entrepreneur, a board director, an investor in India's industrial future, or simply someone who wants to understand what Made in India really means at its most ambitious, today's message is this: the future of Indian manufacturing will not be bought from abroad. It will be built here by people who understand the machines, respect the constraints, and refuse to accept that world class technology must come with a world class import price tag. Mr. Hariharan Nagarajan has spent 30 years proving that, and the best of what he is building is still ahead. So, on that note, this has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Sunny Pancholi, signing off for now. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ahead. Thank you so much.